Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at source material surrounding, well, a really heartbreaking event, the passing of Zubeen Garg.
Yes, the musical maestro, a huge cultural figure in Assam.
Absolutely. And our mission here is to dive into that immediate aftermath, what happened, the personal grief, and this just huge public and official reaction.
Right. The sources really document more than just news. It's like a snapshot of a major cultural moment. To grasp the reaction, you first need to understand his stature. Zubeen Garg wasn't just a musician. His influence was everywhere in Assam. So his sudden death, it almost demanded an official response, which is exactly what we see in these documents.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Start unpacking that. What were the specific circumstances? That date, September 19th, a Friday. It's significant now.
It is. The reports all confirm he passed away in Singapore on that Friday.
In Singapore. Yeah. And the cause?
It was reported as a scuba diving accident. Very sudden and far from home.
And that location, Singapore, that wasn't incidental, was it? The timing was just devastatingly ironic.
Exactly. He wasn't just there vacationing. He traveled specifically for the Northeast India Festival.
He was scheduled to perform there, right?
Scheduled for September 20th, the very next day after he died.
Wow. So he's there to represent the region on an international stage.
Hours away from performing, and then this tragedy happens. It's just a terrible, abrupt end right before this major event.
Yeah, it shifts it immediately from a personal tragedy to something much larger, a kind of international cultural loss.
Yeah.
And then the focus, as the sources show, shifts dramatically when his body arrives back in Guwahati.
That's right. There's a stark contrast between that international shock and the very intense, very private grief back home.
The scene at his residence.
Yeah.
The sources get quite specific there.
They do. They paint a really vivid, almost raw picture of the family mourning.
We know his wife, Garima Saikia Garg, also a film producer. The sources note was there.
Yes, she was there to offer her last respects.
What details really stand out from the reporting of that moment? What makes it feel so immediate?
Well, the sources focus a lot on the physical expressions of grief. Zubeen's body was in a glass casket.
Okay.
And they report Garima Saikia Garg breaking down, in tears beside it. But there's this one detail.
What's that?
It's noted that she was constantly placing her palms on top of the glass casket.
Oh, wow. Just resting your hands on the glass.
Yeah.
Repeatedly.
That's incredibly poignant.
Yeah.
Why do you think they highlighted that specific action?
I think, well, it speaks volumes, doesn't it? The glass is a barrier. It's protective, but it's absolute. Her placing her hands there, it's this deeply human urge to connect, to touch one last time, but she can't.
A physical representation of that final separation.
Exactly. It captures that raw, immediate sense of loss before, the public mourning really began. The sources also mentioned other women there, standing beside her, offering support.
So even in that private grief, there was a communal element present.
Yes, a sense of shared sorrow, even within the family circle. And from that deep personal pain, the story just explodes outwards. Once his remains arrived, it became this huge public event, really validating that cultural icon title.
Absolutely. The shift was instantaneous and massive. The public needed a place to go to express this.
And they found one.
Thousands gathered. On the Sunday at the Arjun Bhogeswar Baruah sports complex in Guwahati, some reports call it Sarusajai Stadium.
Okay, Sarusajai Stadium. Thousands of people.
Fans, well-wishers, just ordinary people wanting to pay their respects.
And this wasn't just the public acting alone. The government got involved very quickly, right, at the highest levels.
Immediately. The chief minister of Assam, Himanta Biswa Sarma, and his wife, Riniki, they went personally to Zubeen's home.
To be with the family?
To stand with them, yes. That kind of immediate high-level presence. It signals how significant this loss was perceived officially.
It's more than just protocol, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. It feels like a political and cultural necessity. They understood this wasn't something they could just issue a statement about. They had to be seen participating, reflecting the public mood.
And this is where it gets really fascinating, I think. The CM didn't just visit. He essentially started managing the public side of things.
That's what the sources indicate. He used his own platform, his X account, to give updates.
Why? What was happening?
Oh, the sheer number of people wanting to pay homage was overwhelming the initial plans. You can infer that from his updates.
So the demand was just too big for the scheduled time.
Exactly. The sources say he posted about this immense public desire to see Zubeen one last time.
And what did he do about it? This is the crucial part.
He made an announcement. Because, as he put it, More and more people wish to see our beloved Zubin one last time.
Huh.
He announced that the stadium, the Bhogeswar Baruah Stadium, would stay open.
Stay open for how long?
Not just for a few extra hours. He said it would remain open throughout the night, today, and also the entire following day.
Throughout the night and the next day. For people to pay respects at a stadium.
Yes, it's an extraordinary measure.
That really tells you something about the scale of this outpouring. Keeping a major stadium open overnight. That's a huge logistical and, well, symbolic decision.
It is. The state essentially had to yield to the sheer force of public grief. It shows Zubeen wasn't just a singer, he was this unifying figure.
Right. His death required suspending normal operations.
The CM's decision wasn't just about managing crowds, it was acknowledging that the public's need to mourn this particular man was, for that moment, more important than standard procedure. The sources capture that by focusing on this schedule change.
It really underlines his importance. A musician's passing prompts the chief minister to personally rearrange public access to a major venue around the clock. That's profound.
It truly is. And if you step back, the sources weave together these three distinct elements beautifully.
Okay, what are they?
First, you have the tragedy itself, cutting short his international appearance in Singapore.
Right, the accident.
Second, that incredibly specific, raw, private grief back in Guwahati, symbolized by Garima Saikia Garg's hands on the casket.
The personal loss.
And third, this immediate, overwhelming public wave of mourning that grew so large, it needed the chief minister himself to step in and change the rules, keep the stadium open.
Family, public, government, all converging around this one individual.
Precisely. It defines his stature. What we get from these sources isn't just news, it's a portrait of what happens when a community loses someone they see as vital.
A cultural heartbeat, as you said.
Yeah, it shows that certain figures hold this kind of soft power. Their passing can momentarily reshape how things normally run just because the collective feeling is too strong to ignore.
Absolutely. So, for you listening, as you think about this deep dive, maybe take a moment. Consider what it takes. What kind of connection does an artist need to build with people, not just through songs, but their whole identity for their death to trigger such an immediate, unified response across the board? A response so strong, it actually makes the government change its plans on the fly just to accommodate the sheer weight of public emotion. That level of resonance is something else entirely.